Megd has never claimed a gold in 1v1s.
3, 2.
Which
the
is-
stats
which is
lying?
why
Oh
this
yeah,
is-
I think I was reading
Which
it
is
backwards.
why this is so momentous, because we're in a situation where one of these two players is poised to hopefully take their first gold medal. And if you're Guichabou, I mean, you are smiling, because Guichabou has had the breakout performance of breakout performances. I mean, going from, like, it's very easy to say, oh, you know, one hit wonder, you get one bronze medal and then sometimes you don't even get top 8. Guichabou has guaranteed that at least, worst case scenario, 2 tournaments in a row, he's going to secure a medal, which is incredible consistency.
All the lightsaber haters in chat are going to be like losing their minds to this one. But I'm very curious to see Megd's guitars, kind of like old style, like old head guitars. Been playing it for a very long time at a very high level, compared to Guichabou's guitars, who is now popping off with them against a bunch of different players, but hasn't really been popping off like that for a very, very long time, like Megd has. So yeah, I think this matchup's going to be really interesting. I'm worried that it's going to be really, really slow, but we'll see, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing I want to bring up, one final thing, is the matchup history between these two players is 9-9 total, which means they know their opponent's playstyle. But I also, with that 9-9 scoreline, I want you to just give me an estimation. How many games do you think total have taken place between these two players, Sparky?
I would imagine if it's 9-9, that means 18. I'm gonna say on average it's 3 games. So 3 times 18 is 30, and 8 is 24, so it's 54. I'm gonna add some more because there are probably some game 4s in there. We're at 54. I would add 60. I'd say 67. And I'm looking at official stats right now,
oh, yeah?
so I'm not cheating.
You'd say 67 just on a guess, uh-huh?
Yeah, 67 games.
How convenient.
Wait, am I right?
That is the exact number.
Yes, I'm insane, dude. I'm the best gamer.
No, you're not telling me you did that off.
Oh, I literally, I promise. I'm looking at official stats right now, which just has 3 total games between those two. I did not cheat. Once you asked me, I chose to not cheat. I'm the best. People say my predictions are bad. I just froze for a second because I wanted to say something, but that's not broadcast appropriate. Like I'm better than you, and I mean you as in chat, not you, Hackle.
Apparently so, yeah. And in the meantime, we are seeing an incredibly close game, and I mean, we are kind of seeing exactly what you're talking about with sort of the old versus new guitars. Guichabou, especially using the Lin Fei, is going to open up a few more options, not necessarily of true combos, but of more comfortable string routes here with that higher dexterity. Asuri, obviously not a low dex character as such, but not as high as the Lin Fei, as Guichabou now takes a bit more of a lead here, an explosive end to that second stock. Dude, that sound effect of juggling guitars, I've actually never heard that before, juggling 2 lightsaber skins. I love it. I'm sure chat doesn't, but I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. If you don't like it, turn your sound off. Now, Megd also, guitars in hand, looking for at least anything to open up here. Can't be looking for a KO move right now. Does find a nice wake up. I think we're going to be seeing a lot of wake ups in this set. We're going to be seeing a lot of string starters for one player getting turned around. And speaking of turnarounds, Megd actually cleaning up very comfortably there. Not going to let Guichabou build the massive lead that he absolutely could have with the amount of room he had to work with. And Guichabou just chucking the cannon away, does not want to touch that weapon in this matchup, at least not right now.
It's very funny when both of them have guitars, because Megd is using like the Ahsoka setup, I believe, which is just like 2 full-size lightsabers compared to what the ones that Guichabou's using. So it looks like Megd's cheating and just has like way longer lightsabers and way longer range.
I mean, it seems to be paying off so far as he's now turned this match around, as Guichabou now actually on the back foot despite the much larger lead that he had going into that final stock of Megd, unable to really find that opening here, just floating around, not even throwing out these moves, giving so much respect to this neutral of Megd, and that's what Megd wants. I mean, Megd is that neutral warrior, is so comfortable in this neutral game, and Guichabou was just not even risking getting close, just trying to get as far away as possible, wants this weapon so bad. Unlike some of the players, doesn't want to really open up with that Anand as much, and now forced onto the cannon, the weapon we haven't seen Guichabou do too much with this game, and just throws out the same signature twice, goes unpunished, but still doesn't land its mark.
Nice jump side air, goes for the low 45-degree weapon toss, which was just a little bit above it. Oh, uses the side air to get back on stage after throwing that weapon toss up. Megd's going to be disarmed after throwing his down. Guichabou snaking the next weapon toss, or weapon spawn. Not only does it keep it away from Megd, but it also gets him back on Katars.
That weapon spawn was so advantageous for Megd there. Guichabou found the nair, but sent Megd right down on top of where the weapon was spawning, unfortunately, and now we're seeing... This is kind of what I expected from this matchup. Now is the double delay into the recovery. Not quite going to be enough. Guichabou going to be over onto the cannon now, a bit more consistent on the KOs with the side sig, turning it around. It's actually crazy. Yeah.
It's really same thing, though it doesn't apply as much to Asuri compared to Lin Fei. But still, wow, that's amazing. I would not have guessed that. Not that he was super inefficient, but I just wouldn't have expected his efficiency to be like that worthy of note.
I mean, for a player like Megd who likes to drag out those games, force the opponent to misplay through good spacing and much slower neutral, I mean, we have seen plenty of games where Megd has needed to do over 600 damage to secure those games just because he's not afraid of playing that long game, and so seeing good efficiency, it's a good sign for Megd at least. It's not Guichabou struggling. Again, it's so strange. This doesn't feel like I'm watching the Guichabou I'm used to seeing. Guichabou is giving like so much physical respect to Megd in this set. Like the second Megd starts to chase, Guichabou is out of there. He's not trying to turn things around, not trying to take back space. Like you see that, like instead of going for like a dodge through or anything like that, he is going all the way up. He's getting as far away as possible, getting full respect, and obviously there is to try and, you know, continue the longevity of the stock, not get caught by a narrow recovery and lose the first stock early, but still, it's so much respect. And the second he gets in, he applies this pressure, he builds up damage, but it's a really on and off playstyle here.
Nice change up of the dodge from Megd, so he didn't get caught by Guichabou going for the D-Light in the other direction after going for it to the left and then going for it to the right, hoping to get the dodge read and the KO after that. Megd with the juggle game coming up. Oh, grab the recovery, gets the KO off the top. Going back, of course, to the Katars.
Over to the cannon. I mean, for once, this is probably the weapon he actually wants to be holding as the NC comes through. That move is just so solid. Guichabou, obviously, going to be looking for the Katars here, going to be looking for that game plan of racking up the damage with the Katars and then trying to go for a KO with cannon if the Katars aren't working out. But I mean, in a perfect world for Guichabou would just play a double Katars legend if he could.
Yeah. That'd be so gross. I hope they never make that.
Absolutely.
I mean, they probably won't, but like, please don't. We don't need that.
Still behind here, and there's that wake up again I was talking about. We're seeing a fair bit of that now, keeping the damage actually a lot more equal here as multiple openings are found. Both players throwing things right down. Looking for the openings, and the dodge is punished, but only by a nair. Nothing more dangerous there. Megd finds that two-piece, doesn't find the follow-up. There, looks for the in-dodge, and our both players, they're just finding these openings, this 1-2, and then not catching the dodge afterwards. It's such a slow damage build here.
Starting to look more like a classic Megd game as we're getting into this one. Does grab the KO. We're about 3 minutes into this game. Megd might get taken out here shortly if Guichabou grabs the cannon, which he does. Could go for the sidelight turnaround neutral signature like he was doing previously, or going for the raw side sig to close the second stock out just like he closed the last game out.
I mean, I respect Guichabou for going for these sigs on the cannon, like, especially that side sig. It's deceptive how difficult that sig can be to punish, because if you overshoot that on a character with such high dex, as long as your opponent isn't right on top of where you're ending up with the overshoot, you're pretty much home free. You can act out of that signature so early with so much distance that it's actually pretty deceiving on how safe that sig can be. And Guichabou's making good use of playing it in a way that is making it hard for Megd to punish. And now, over onto these final stocks, both players just looking for these openings, slowing things right down once again. Oh, but Guichabou starting to heat up, finds hit after hit, and now opening up again. We're seeing the same thing as last time. The slap side air, Megd sent down, has no options. Guichabou up 2-0 over Megd. 1 game away from a guaranteed minimum silver medal here.
ended with the recovery and didn't actually get the KO, but was very close to grabbing it. But Guichabou's ability to find consistent KOs at a reasonably good time on the Katars is pretty much second to none.
For sure. And we're seeing Megd not swap over here, and that might be a mistake, as Guichabou showing a lot more confidence now with 2 games under the belt and not slowing down. Megd trying to do exactly that, and Guichabou just not giving the room to breathe, but now the respect is coming in, realizing don't want to overheat here, don't want to overstep your advantage. And there's that wake up again. Megd only finding 1 hit off the burn dodge. Guichabou goes for the double D-light, and we've seen that before, doesn't find the recovery out of it. But now, fishing for this KO, Megd knows it, the cannon comes out. And Sig, D-Light Nair actually would have been free there for Guichabou, but relying too heavily on the signature, over back onto the Katars, goes for the GC side Sig, and Megd can punish.
Yeah, Guichabou's definitely not as much of a D-Light Nair bear as he is like a signature guy, or even just like a raw neutral air guy. And then like eventually, if that doesn't work, then it seems like he'll get impatient, and then he'll finally go for the D-Light Nair.
Absolutely, and now looking for the KO. Guichabou playing a dangerous game, letting Megd get this much damage, is now back into an equal game. Guichabou had so much room to work with. That's an interesting use actually there. Throw the weapon up just to get the unarmed recovery for the verticality, and then picks it back up again. Finds the second down air, but Guichabou started to slip just a little bit towards the end of that first stock. Can he build a further lead here? Can he play for this 3-0 over Megd?
Oh, he snaked that one away. I thought he wouldn't have gotten it in time, but he did, and he needed that. I feel like there's been several times where the weapon-starving game has just like favored Guichabou a little bit more, and sometimes that's just like raw luck from the timing. Oh, or the place that they spawn. Dude, Megd needs this KO. All of a sudden, 50 damage on the stock. Now beyond 50 damage, almost 100 damage on the stock, and he can't find these KOs.
This is what we were talking about there, that lower efficiency that we sort of have come to accept from Megd's playstyle here. And Guichabou, I mean, you'll take it. You'll absolutely take it. More room to breathe, more chances to get extra damage. I mean, every single hit now is just 1 less Guichabou needs next stock. So, Megd, over to the sword, much more consistent KO weapon, but isn't going for these D-lights, knows Guichabou's going to be expecting it, just going for these aerial options. It gets punished.
Ooh, nice dodge. He landed and instantly dodged so that he could get to the right and get away and off stage from Megd. What a beautiful timing on that dash land.
What I'm most curious about is the choice to stick on the Asuri. I feel like the sword just hasn't been... I mean, neither weapon's been doing as much as I think Megd wants, obviously not winning these games, but at the same time, considering it, that second most played legend is going to be that Val, and gauntlets into Katars, and especially a legend like Lin Fei, can be so difficult. But I mean, I'm singing the praises of Guichabou's Katars from the matchup, and as that's happening, Megd is starting to bring things back a bit. Guichabou getting a bit too greedy, even a bit too antsy, looking for these options that aren't necessarily the safest. And Megd coming now to expect that ending out of the cannon, doesn't punish there, finds the end like Guichabou. Now actually at disadvantage. They go all the way over the recovery now. Onto the Katars again. Megd in a better spot here to find the KO, but the GC sidesig not quite going to be enough. That's that lower force of the Lin Fei, and Guichabou just trying to jump scare with that side air. Does manage to close things out on this second stock. Can he close out the set though?
I think it's going to be really tough. I think so far, I mean, we're obviously 2-0 in favor of Guichabou here. It seems like Guichabou has either been like heavily in the lead or at least a little bit in the lead. Like, even though both of them are getting sometimes down to like very deep red like they were at the end of last stock, Guichabou has just at least a little bit of an edge to then let him start to really destroy the final stock of Megd. Neutral Sig coming out. It seems like Megd's getting a little bit impatient here. Really wants that KO. Even that hit clashes. Finally gets the D-Light side air. But we already have 50 damage built up on Megd. And that's a decent lead because Guichabou's been able to hold these leads for long enough. Or even if he doesn't have a damage lead, they'll both be in red and he just finds the KO before Megd does. So his pacing has just been better.
Megd starting to move a bit here though, as Guichabou forced to take some more time, grab a different weapon, doesn't want the cannon here. Damage now pretty equal. Guichabou looking to turn things around, close out this game. The pressure's got to be mounting, though. Guichabou's got to be feeling those nerves. First time trying to get into the winners' side of Grand Finals. First time getting into a Grand Finals, possibly of a major. Got to be feeling that pressure. Megd's been here before, not on the winner's side, but he's been this deep in a tournament. And that experience might be starting to show. Megd knows how to drag out these games, drag out these tournament runs. Guichabou can't afford to overheat just yet. Finds 2 hits, goes for the ground pound. It's a big send, and Megd's there to punish. Guichabou has no options, and the third game goes Megd's way. Let's see.
And he's going strength stance too.
Yeah, I was gonna say strength stance, sword in hand. You have the tools to find those KOs. It's not like you have weak signatures in Asuri as well. You have so much force on both of your N-Sigs, and I mean the sword side sig as well can just delete a stock under the right circumstances. And still, Megd struggling with that efficiency. Guichabou chasing, and this is the Megd gameplay we came here to expect, and maybe that's getting tough for Guichabou. Maybe that longevity is what will turn things around, as Megd now opening up this game actually in the lead for once.
He's definitely not getting caught by as many of these down air initiations from Guichabou. He's either initiating aerially where Guichabou can't find the down airs, or is spacing, or he'll like backdash out of an incoming dare because he knows that's how Guichabou's going to come in. Because that's a lot of times how he initiates against most people.
Absolutely,
right there. Right there.
Seeing so many dares, yeah, and giving so much respect. Megd just steps back, finds the end light. Not going to be enough for a KO. But, I mean, it's space, the recovery is going to be enough, and now Megd actually almost a full stock up over Guichabou in game number 4 here. Cannon now in hand. And this is not what Guichabou wants. I mean, he wants these Katars to rack up the damage as fast as possible. We've seen him be capable of these big cannon strings, but he's going for these same options repeatedly. Megd isn't answering back, but it's nothing too crazy. Now over onto the Katars again for Guichabou. Needs to find something special here to close out this stock of Megd. Gonna go all up to the top. Gonna go for another, maybe doesn't find it. But doesn't find the dash for that end light as well. I think the nerves might be creeping in a bit here. As we're seeing these drops, actually drops it again, but Megd falls into it. Recovery again, not gonna be enough. Guichabou can be looking for the KO with the cannon for just a second, but back onto the Katars.
He's going to press the edge guard. We saw him go over just a little bit. I don't know if that was like a feint that Megd just caught a punish on, so the edge guard stopped there. Ooh, nice side air. Bouncing off the stage, sending over to the edge. These neutral airs, at least the first one, making connection. Oh, Megd still gets over to the wall. I can't believe that neutral air, the bottom side of that, didn't spike hard enough to get the KO. Even that side air bouncing off the main stage. Megd living so long on the stock, finally eating the big boot from Guichabou. That was a 2.5-minute first stock for Megd. He was able to put out first the knockout onto the first stock, and then 100 damage onto the second stock as well.
Seeing Guichabou actually stick with the cannon here for once. All this damage build, maybe trying to mix up what Megd can expect from him. And so far, seems to be working out pretty well as the damage now almost neck and neck again out of nowhere. Guichabou had so much room to work or to make up, and all of a sudden, a bit closer. Back onto the Katars now. Maybe they'd be familiar with these at this point, but still, the cannon has put in the work that I think Guichabou was looking for here. D-Light goes for the read on the dodge up and actually does predict the correct dodge. Doesn't manage to punish it correctly, unfortunately, but another damage back, neck and neck, and Guichabou trying to get back into this game.
Yeah, I definitely want to see a little bit more cannon. I don't want to see him necessarily like 100% main the cannon here against Megd, but I think he's doing a great job so far of like a weapon spawn comes in and he'll swap to it. Whatever it is, whether it's Katars or whether it's a cannon coming up, I think it's a good idea. And not even just a weapon starve, but I think swapping up the weapon, kind of changing how he's initiating, changing everything up is a great idea for him. There's the neutral air, the side of it, which was falling really low. Dude, what are you doing? Oh no, Hackle.
That had to have been a misinput, right? I refuse to accept that being anything less, because that's so heartbreaking. And now Megd finding a few hits here. Guichabou needs to find the KO, otherwise we could be going to a game 5, and Guichabou was poised to take this entire set, and all of a sudden Megd just racking up hit after hit. Guichabou, is it too little too late for this game?
I don't think just yet, but potentially. It's getting very, very close. He's red now. Gets the two-piece, interrupting that recovery. There's the side light, in light. Oh, he picked it up! I thought Guichabou was going to be enough away from him. He was looking for the commitment. Which way did he want to go? I thought he wasn't going to be able to find it, but he did. The recovery grabs the KO. The patience from Megd in that final moment to really choose which direction based off of the way that Guichabou goes. He didn't go for the immediate read. He went for the reaction, and he just barely made that connection. Of a reverse 3-0.
Oh, Demon Island. Okay, this is scary for Megd specifically. We've seen Guichabou get away with some terrifying stuff and opening up confident. That's what, if you're Guichabou, you need that confidence. You need to show Megd that you are not shaken by what has just happened. Because again, Guichabou was poised to go 3-0 into the winner's side of Grand Finals, and now Megd looking to get the reverse 3 of his own. And Guichabou needs to pop off, needs to show it to Megd that he wants this victory. And so far, untouched on this first stock. Don't want to cast his curse it, but Guichabou looking to at least open this game up a lot more confident.
It's crazy how he's able to find like recoveries and specifically like double recoveries more than anybody else. Is he about to get a clean stock here? Surely not.
Surely not. Surely not, Sparky. Surely not.
I'm waiting for the recovery connection. I feel like it's almost inevitable at this point.
Oh, there it is!
Actually, gotta be, that was 1 minute and 2 seconds. Gotta be world's longest 0 to knockout of all time.
Maybe. And I mean, if you're Guichabou, you needed that. After last game, you need this full stock to run away with, because it felt like Megd was kind of in his head. It felt like Guichabou, his options were starting to fail him, and the things that he was so familiar with doing into Megd weren't working. But now, obviously, something has changed as he's now still lapped Megd, doesn't catch that dodge. But I mean, so much space Guichabou has to just build up damage, so much room to work with here, and this is a different Guichabou to what we saw last game.
It has to be so annoying if you're Megd to like figure out when to use your dodge. Whenever he hits you with like a vertical move, or whether it's like an in light or whether it's a D light on the Katars, it's like, well, what do? I feel like I'm always punished regardless of when I use my dodge. If I use it early, he just finds the recovery. If I don't use it, he instantly finds the recovery either way. So it's got to be so frustrating.
I mean, that, I hate to say it, that kind of is just stemming from Guichabou having the better Katars here.
Yes.
And I mean, I feel like it's not a case of Guichabou not having his own frustrations here, as Megd has been doing so well in forcing Guichabou to play this longer game. And we know Guichabou is a player who likes to just get absolutely in with this neutral, and does manage to find another stock as well. Now, technically 2 stocks up over Megd. Obviously, damage-wise, not so much. D-Light into the gravity cancel neutral heavy. Actually, still not enough. One more of those might do it, but Guichabou, given a second lease on this stock here, can he make the most of it?
In light didn't even send off screen. That one does, but not enough to KO.
Has the recovery? No!
Oh! Dude, how many of those have we seen not make a connection today? It's gotta be like 2 or 3! He almost got the 3 stock there. Chose not to punish the landing.
He wants it!
I thought he was gonna get the additional stun.
Don't do this to him! Don't do this to him!
Oh my God, no way, dude. He was about to get reverse 3'd, and then all of a sudden grabs the world's longest 0 to knockout on first stock and ends it with a 3 stock. Unbelievable.